Welcome, everyone. Everyone that's in this Teams training, I just wanted to let everyone know that we will be starting in about 5 minutes or 4 minutes now at 1 p.m. Eastern time. We also have Shane and Blair that's going to be monitoring the Q&A panel. I believe we will dedicate about the last 30 minutes, maybe, for Q&A. But throughout the training, if you have any questions about any of the features, by all means, drop them down below or on the panel. All right, looks like it's 1 o'clock. Welcome, guys, again for joining this Teams training. I would like to thank everyone again for joining. My name is John. I'm going to be going over Microsoft's Teams Essentials and a basic rundown on how to use Teams. I'm also joined by Blair and Shane, who's going to be monitoring the Q&A panel for any questions that you guys might have during this call. But after that, let's get started. What's Teams? Microsoft Teams is a communication and collaboration tool from Microsoft that's built to streamline day-to-day chatter and as well as provide a place for easy, consistent collaboration. Another thing it does is it integrates Office 365 productivity tools to save you the need to constantly switch between programs and keep you productive. The three C's that we're going to be going over in Microsoft Teams is going to be communicate, collaborate, and customize. We're going to be going over how we can communicate through chat, meetings, and calls, as well as collaborate together using Office 365 applications. Not only that, but we're going to be able to customize our workspace to achieve more, as well as showcase the ability to make calls within Teams as well. Another great thing about Teams is how the cross-platform experiences. As you can see, we have multiple platforms that supports Teams. We have desktop for Windows and Mac OS, as well as on the mobile we have support for Android and iPhone, as well as the iPad tablet. But another way you're able to access it is through the web. Any application or any program, I would say, supports it that's a modern browser, but the ones that are recommended are the new Edge that's based off of Chromium, as well as Google Chrome as well. Now just give me one moment. I'm going to switch over to our Teams tenant. Here we go. All right. So right now I'm using the web application or the web version of Microsoft Teams. Right now I have it in the dark mode theme setting. A way you're able to change that theme, by the way, is if you go to the top right corner and hit settings, you'll be able to change that theme. But we'll get into the settings as well later throughout this training. To start off, we're going to start off with the chat tab that's located on the left-hand side. These pins right here, these applications that are pinned on this taskbar are permanent, but another way you can do within the desktop version is switch between how you would like them placed. But you are able to pin as well as unpin any applications that are supported to be on this taskbar. When I hit the ellipses here, I'm able to pin these applications as well. But of course, that fit on this taskbar. But in the chat, this tab is where one-on-one and group messaging is going to be located. We're going to see how we have the organized chats. We have recent chats here, as well as pinned chats that I'm able to have here on the top part of this menu. When I hit pin right here, it's going to list this chat as a favorite so that it's for quicker access if I find myself that I'm in this chat more often, if I collaborate a lot within this group chat. I'm able to have it here because over time when you use Teams, you're going to notice that this menu is going to be populated with lots and lots of chats throughout time. But when I right click on any of the chats, depending on if I am the owner or not, let's go ahead and go to that example right now. If I were to create a group chat, notice how right now I have Shane as a chat, but I'm going to hide this for 1 sec. Let me unpin this. When I hit this little box with the pencil, it's going to ask me who I want to chat with. In this case, I do want to chat with Shane, but because I do have a chat history already with him, it's just going to grab a chat that I just hid previously. Another thing, just to let everyone know, you are not able to delete chats. Teams offers a level of transparency so that all chats are saved within the systems. So that will not let you delete chats at all, but you can hide chats. And for as long as nobody talks in that chat, if it's just something that you would like to clean up since it's a chat that's no longer used, you'll be able to hide that chat. And as long as nobody chats or collaborates within that chat, it will remain hidden. But as you can see, another thing I can do as well when I right click on this chat as well as hit the ellipsis on the right hand side, it gives me a menu that allows me to manipulate the chat and to a certain extent. I'm able to mark as unread as well as add to favorite contacts since it's only one person. Another thing I'm able to do is mute the chat if for some reason I don't want this chat to ping off any notifications, as well as hide or unhide any of the chats or notify if that person is available. It's going to notify me whenever the person is off of Do Not Disturb, busy, as well as manage any applications that's within the chat itself. But to get into how we send messages and all, let me leave this on. Here, as you can see on the top side of the chat, we have chat files as well as other tabs that we pinned since we wanted it for quicker access. As you can see here, chat is where all messages and collaboration will occur, as well as files is where any of the files that have been uploaded and shared amongst each other will be located here in a more organized fashion. Let me go ahead and showcase how when you hit this plus sign, it's going to allow me to pin any first and third party applications that is supported within the Teams tenant. Currently, right now, only first party products are supported to be pinned as tabs. And in this case, to show as an example, I'm going to, in this case, let me go, oops. I'm going to pin an Excel spreadsheet. Right now, there isn't one located right now. Oh, because it's only in this chat. But let me see if it will let me. Let's see if we shared a file. I haven't even seen if we did. Looks like we didn't. Looks like we're not sharing any documents, but as you can see, we have a lot of GIFs or memes that we're able to send to each other just to keep the conversation live, as well as show any screenshots of any help that we need. But to get into that, notice how there's a little symbol here that it's showcasing that I've been mentioned. What Shane was able to do is use the @ symbol, as you can see here, to mention me. And it created a little orange tag as well as the @ symbol here, showcasing that there is a mention within this chat. And as you can see here, Shane also sent me an important message. And as you can see, you have a symbol here indicating that the chat is important. And we have emojis as well that are shared. And then here's an example of Shane also reading my message. Read receipts, I believe, are toggleable. I believe maybe depending on if you are the user or member. If you're an owner, actually, you are able to toggle if you would like to support or if you would want to have read receipts on. As a user, you're able to do that if you would like that. However, the admin may have that feature turned off where you are able to turn on or off the read receipts. It depends on how the tenant is set up. But to get into what you're able to do here on the bottom side of the chat box, we're able to format text. When I hit the little A symbol, it's going to give me options here to format any message that I would like if I need to display any sort of outline in my chat, as well as if I hit the ellipsis here on the right hand side, I'm able to add more options when it comes to formatting my text. Let's see if it's going to, not on this part. It's not. It's going to be right here. I'm able to set delivery options of how I want my message to be sent. I'm able to list it as important. As you can see, it's going to list it as important. I'm also able to send it as urgent. However, be cautious of how you use this, since as you can see, the recipient will be notified every 2 minutes for 20 minutes. However, if the message is urgent, by all means use that option, but of course be cautious of that. But in this case, we're going to move on and go over to this little paperclip where we're able to attach a document. When it hit the upload from my computer, it's going to let me attach a file. I'm going to go ahead and select it. Please check this document. And then from there, it's going to upload that. And then it's going to give me a window here in, telling me that the file already exists, because there is a folder that has this document placed already. In this case, I do want to replace it. However, you have the option to keep both if you would like to, but be aware of just the version history of either of the documents and make sure that there is one that's being used more frequently. I'm going to go ahead and let him know, hey, Shane, please check this out. After that, I'm going to hit the send button, and then from there, it's going to let me know that I shared this message, and then also it's giving me a notification on my computer telling me that I've shared a document also. As you can see, Shane saw this message and then just gave me a little thumbs up, letting me know that he acknowledged this message instead of having to text him, hey Shane, thanks, I checked out this document, or hey Shane, thanks. You can just react to this message in any shape or form. If you'd like to send a thumbs up, heart, laughing, any of the following, but then if you hit these ellipses as well, it'll let you actually edit the message. If you would like to save the message, edit the message. However, this column may be different depending if you are a user or a owner, mainly because the tenant will, or the admin will actually allow if you're able to edit messages as well as delete messages. However, you are able to mark as unread as well as share this message to Outlook and then enable immersive reader.
Hey, John, if I could interrupt for just a second.
What's up?
I've actually had a couple people say that it's a little bit harder to see in dark mode. Do you think you could switch it back to light mode?
Yeah, you got it.
Thank you.
To show that part again on how I did that, if we go to the right-hand side and select settings, I will be able to, from the general tab, select what theme I would like to be, what I would like to use. Going back to the options here available in the text box, we have here that we have the fun stuff now where we're able to send stickers, GIFs, or emojis as well. I'm also able to search emojis on the top corner or the top column here. If you want to keep the chat lively and entertaining, the great indoors, by all means, I can go ahead and send that message if I want to. And then also select stickers here, where I'm also able to send memes, even design memes also. Now, if I want to also schedule a meeting, this part here will allow me to schedule a meeting where this prompt will display, is where I can add a title, select if I want to have it repeat, add channels, add a location. Another thing I can also do is select scheduling assistant, where it's going to pop up Shane's name as well as give me a little bit of an overview of what his schedule is looking like so that I can accurately schedule a meeting to make sure that we both are able to attend. From this option, when I select scheduling assistant, it does allow me to add any optional or required attendees and also add locations as well. Now let's go to back to the chat. Let's close. And then here, if I have Stream enabled on my tenant, which is a first-party application from Microsoft that lets me save any recordings of meetings, I can paste the link here to insert to show to Shane. Another thing I can also do is send praise. Let me go ahead. Oops, why is this? There we go. I'm able to send praise. Select a badge. I think Shane is awesome. I always want to make sure Shane's awesome. Here I can say, hey Shane. Just another daily reminder. That year also. It's going to let me preview and then send. Always some words of encouragement, always some nice things to say is always appreciated by others. If you ever want to have some time to send some praise, by all means, it's free. And he reacted, he laughed. I'm going to heart it because I love it. There we go. Another thing I can do just within this column is check the weather if I want to. If I have this application enabled, in my chat, I can search for a location and let them know what the weather's looking like. Just put in a random zip code. In DC, hey Shane. Just want to let you know that in DC, it is 73 degrees, 3 miles per hour. Just want to make sure I send some insight. It's going to be looking nice today. If I go ahead and select this ellipsis here, it's going to let me find any applications that I would like to send to Shane. That's, of course, enabled within my application or my organization. But now let's say I actually want to add more people to this chat. I want to expand this conversation. I'm going to go ahead and go to the top right-hand corner where it also allows me to video call Shane as well as audio call Shane. When I want to add somebody else, in this case, I want to add Marvin. It's going to auto-populate somebody that's already within my organization. So just starting to put someone's name is going to begin to suggest anyone that's already in your org. I'm going to add Marvin. Go ahead and add him. Then from there, because I believe I don't have a chat with just me and Marvin, it's saving it currently as a draft until I, of course, send a message. Hey, guys. After I do that, then it's going to let me name the group chat when I go over to the names column, because anyone that you would like to add in a group chat, say if it's 5 people, say if it's 10 people, maybe 15, for instance. Of course, I wouldn't recommend doing that unless it's required, of course. When it comes to people, I would say more than 5 people within a group chat, maybe it's recommended to have a channel within the team, just so that you can do a little bit of more collaborating. It's a bit easier on a channel that I'm going to showcase later. I'm going to go ahead and name this group chat the Awesome Squad, because we're awesome. Or you can name it whatever you like. Just anything that's able to be easier to identify in this case. You can name it whatever you like. In this case, I'm also going to pin it right here. But if I look on the top right, it looks very similar. And oh, he said hello also. I'm going to react to that. Yeah, it's great. Hello again. But let's say, because I shared this document, let's actually go ahead and see what that looks like. Because one thing you can do is, if you don't want to have it open in the Word within Teams, you don't have to. You can also have it open within the desktop app, as well as the browser if you would like to. This document shows pics of my beloved pup, yes. And if Shane could join this document as well, because another thing it'll also show me when I go to the top right-hand corner is his icon indicating that he joined the documents edit, as well as the location that he's on in the document. When you share a document with someone or a group of people, there is a certain limitation that's currently within collaborating, where you can't edit within the same paragraph in Word, nor can you edit within the same slide in PowerPoint, and then editing a single cell in Excel is not supported currently. And as you can see, Shane just joined. There we go. We can see that he's on the first page. I can go to his location if I would like to, but then also pop open the conversation if I'm having have a conversation here. And as you can see, it uses the same chat that's in Teams, because notice how it's popped up already what's in what me and Shane were talking about in the chat. But also it'll let me enable the comments quickly here. And I can add new comments if I would like to. But that's really what it comes down to in the chat. It's very, very straightforward. It's very simple when it comes to the user interface. I like how clean the user interface is within Teams on both light and dark mode, or even high contrast as well. I do appreciate how Microsoft does do a good job on making sure that everything is accessible. When it comes to the user interface of Teams, it's always appreciated. We're gonna move over to the meat and potatoes of what Teams is, and that is actually Teams itself. One thing that is always recommended is having less teams and more channels in this case. When you make teams, or if you are the owner of teams within an organization, if you find that you can actually find that it's way easier to have maybe 2 to 3 teams within an organization. Of course, it may be bigger or not. But when it comes to organizing your teams, it's always nice to have more channels, since you could actually select or people that are able to edit within channels, as well as create private channels as well for people. Currently, Shane, I believe private channels is still not supported in this organization, just to make sure.
Hi, good afternoon. Blair Lockamy here. A couple of things. In the government community cloud, private channels are rolling out as we speak. Some of my customers, I support the public sector, have started to see them roll into their tenants as early as yesterday. And so they are rolling into the GCC slow and steady. So you can reach out to your O365 admin to see when that will be in your tenant specifically. John, one other update is some of your cursor movements are quick for folks. So maybe just so they can follow the point and clicks, if you can slow the cursor down.
Yeah, you got it. Let me change it. Does that look good on your screen? There we go. There we go.
Yes, thank you.
Sweet. Awesome. Yeah, you got it. Let me move that here. But when it comes to what a team is a workspace that you either are an owner of, or one that you are just added to by default within your organization. Let's see. If we look on the bottom here, notice how it looks very similar to a chat, since it's on the left-hand side, it has everything organized when it comes to chats, and then how you're on Teams, how you have your channels organized by this caret here that you can collapse. Here is the name of the team, and then here are the channels under this team that's called Northern Earthquake Exercise. And here on the right-hand side, it'll allow me to edit or manage the team here, if I'm the owner of it. Add channels by this column as well, and I'll also show you other ways that you are able to add channels, as well as add members or leave the channel, as well as getting a link to the team if you would like to share it to someone, and then manage tags within the team. What tags are is a tag that you're able to label for a group of people, so that you don't have to mention everybody that you would like to. For instance, if there are 10 people that are for retail and 5 people for finance, you can create a finance and retail tag so that those the designated people are mentioned with those tags. But because I can't delete a team if I'm not an owner of it, one thing I can do is hide a team so that it's not in my list of teams here if I am over time, if I'm a part of a good amount of teams. Let's see. But when it comes to channels, they are multi-purpose. They can be created around a topic, department, or even a project. But within a channel, this is where collaboration occurs at a much bigger scale, since lots and lots of other people will be a part of this channel. Let's see. But here on the top, just like how we saw in the chats, we're able to pin tabs to have any documents or applications for quicker access. If within this channel, for instance, I have maybe the Excel, if I have a spreadsheet that I would like everyone to, let's go to Excel. Oh, there's no more files here. Oops. We can do this document. There we go. Where I can post a Word document as a tab. Here I only have testing in this document, but Here I'm able to pin any sort of applications that are supported within my organization for quick access, just like I could with group chats. But if you are if you would like to join a team or create a team, if we go to the bottom here on the left-hand panel, you can create a team if you are able to within your organization, as well as join any public teams that will populate here if there are any, or join a team with a code that maybe the owner of a team will send you, maybe a group chat or an email. When you enter it here, you'll be instantly joining that team. But in this case, let's go through the process of creating one. However, just so the backend looks a little tidy, we won't create it. We'll showcase the teams that I made by default, just so that what it looks like from the start. But here I'm able to build a team from scratch or create one with an existing 365 group or team. Well, when I hit the first option, it's going to let me create a private or public team. In this case, we're going to make it a public team. And then it'll give me the option to select a name and then a description. And after I hit this button, it's going to recommend that I start adding people within my public team. But then this is what, yes, let's discard this. This is what it looks like from the start. By default, it creates a general channel as a first channel. And then here, as you can see, there's a lock symbol indicating that this is a private channel. There's the differences between what a public and a private channel would look like. But then getting into the settings of a team, when I hit the manage team here, I'm able to look at members, channels, analytics of my team, and then the apps that I currently have supported that I have listed as a tab. But then when I go to members, here it has listed members and owners. And then this is another way you're also able to add members to your team. But then let's say, for instance, if we collapse this, if we want to make the listing a little more tidier, that's what we're able to do here. If I go to channels, here's where I'm able to add channels. Here's where I'm also able to show if I want these channels listed here or if I want them to be hidden. And then if I have any descriptions of those teams, it'll be located here. And then from there, I have the type and then the last activity of that channel or that channel, sorry. But then if I also click on these ellipses on the right-hand side, it will give me the notifications of having the channel notifications turned off. All new posts, if I want to have them on, if I want to have them by banner or to only show in feed. Another thing I can do is also toggle notifications of mentions. When I go over to analytics, here's where I'm able to see the number of users, messages, and applications that I have, any of the inactive or active users, as well as what the roles are of those users. For anyone who does like data and charts here, I'm also able to see active users by a graph or by charts here, as well as messages. And I just want to make sure if there's anything that somebody has in the Q&A panel that they would like me to go over if I miss anything. Cool. Awesome. So now the next tab that we're going to go over in the left-hand side is going to be calls. Here's where I'm able to add anyone at speed dial. Currently, right now, I only have Shane as speed dial. Notice how his presence changed to away. Here I'm also able to toggle if I would like his name to appear within speed dial. I'm also able to create a group chat. If I hit these ellipses here, I'm also able to add a contact to this group. Now here on the left-hand side, we have contacts, where anyone that I've been talking to recently will populate here. I'm also able to send any messages, video or audio call within the contacts if I would like to. Another thing I'm also able to do is remove from speed dial and or remove the contact. Now, here we also have the ability to add any contacts here on my list if I would like to. Currently, I believe it is only the number that's given to you as a user within the Teams tenant that is supported that you would be able to use here to add somebody. When I go back to the left-hand side on the panel, I'm able to see the history as well as any voicemails and also transcripts of those voicemails. And then on the bottom of the left-hand panel, we have the feature to make a call. So from there, I could audio or video call someone. There are many ways to call or get the names of someone to start collaborating with them. Another way you can do is within the search bar here that we will go over. When I click on this and hit the @ symbol, what I'm able to do is mention people instantly. When I hit his name, for instance, it's going to let me send a personal message instantly to him. I'm just going to tell him, hey, from there, it's going to be sending my message. And when I hit enter, I'm also able to quickly jump over to that chat. The search bar is probably one of the most powerful tools that actually allows you to fly through this application with colors. I can guarantee you that because, for instance, if I want to let people know that I'm busy, from right there, from hitting /, it just changed my presence to busy, or if I hit / again, and that list populates on what all of the commands that are available within Teams, I could change that to available, and from there, it quickly let me change that chat to available, or my presence to available, sorry. But let's say, for instance, if I wanted to call someone, well, this is also another way you're able to quickly call, or both video and audio if you would like to. Let's go ahead and call Shane. I'm going to do this for now. I'm going to continue with that audio or video just so we can see what it looks like when we call someone. It's going to be ringing. Here on the bottom, it lets us turn our cameras on or off, as well as mute or unmute our mic. Here on the bottom is where screen sharing is enabled. And when if he doesn't answer, it's going to let me select those options. Just a moment. There we are. Perfect. Thank you, Shane. When I select the ellipses here, it gives me more options on this menu here. What I'm able to do is look at the devices that I'm currently using in my call. If I have any preferred mics or cameras, I can go ahead and do that through here. Another thing I can do as well is, let's go in. Close this. Another thing I'm also able to do is enter in full screen if I would like to, if I'm watching a presentation or if somebody is showcasing something that I need to take a look at. By all means, I can enter full screen. I can also place on hold as well as transfer. However, be aware that this menu as well may be different on what it looks like for you, since features like recording may or may not be enabled in your organization. It currently may be a feature that's rolling out soon, or something that just it wasn't approved to be as a feature within your org. Another thing I can do is turn on the keypad if I would like to dial someone. If we go back to the more options here on the bottom, I'm also able to turn off any incoming video. And then the chat that we've been using to talk will pop up here when I hit this option. And then on the next to it, we can see participants here, where we're able to invite someone or call someone to join this call. And then it'll also list people that are in this call, as well as list people that I've called. In this case, it's going to showcase that I'm calling Marvin. I can right here, I can go ahead and toggle mute or unmute if I would like to. But then let's close that. That's what would be available within just meetings or video calling itself. These are the options again. Let's end this call. Just before we move on to the next portion, do we have any questions or any features that would like me to review?
I do have one question here that asks if you could just quickly go over uploading a file and accessing it one more time.
Yeah. Let's go back to Shane. Adding a file would be this paperclip where it pops up attach. From there, I'm able to add documents from OneDrive or upload from my computer. When I click upload from my computer, it's going to give me my File Explorer window to attach any files. And then from there, I'm able to attach a file. Let's go back to the file that we originally shared. When I go up here, right here, you're going to have a little box that has the name of the document as well as the file type or symbol here on the left-hand side. Another thing I'm also able to do, if I didn't want to click on it and edit within Teams, when I hit the ellipsis on the right-hand side, I'm able to edit in the browser as well as edit within the desktop app, if that's preferred. Or if I would like to download the application or the document. However, be cautious if you have any means of making sure that the document is available to collaborate and that any edits are saved on that document so that, say, for instance, in this case, Shane is able to access. I would advise not downloading the document since it will create a local copy on your computer. But I'm also able to get a link if I need to share this document to anyone else. But let's go ahead and, let's go ahead and open this document. When I click on it, it's going to load up the online version of Word. But it's going to be available within Teams, which is great, since that's what we want to make sure that Teams is used for, where all of your applications are located in one place, so that you don't have the need to switch between windows for your workflow. And then from there, I have options of formatting any documents just like how you would see on Word. On this option here, I'm able to enable if I would only like this document to be reviewed, where people are only able to add comments or suggest changes, or if I will allow this document to be edited on. Next to it, we have the option to open comments as well as open the conversation of that group chat. I appreciate it, Shane. Thank you for that. Yes. Then I can add new comments if I would like to. And then from there, I'm able to use the same chat that I have here on the left-hand side. I can have it quickly here if I would like to add anything, or if I would like this way to chat. What's nice too is you can even video call or audio call someone while using this this document if that's how you would like to collaborate. Now let's close that. Any more questions before we go over to files? Or not, sorry, files. We're going to meetings. Let's go over, let's move this calendar. Oops, no. We're going to pin this. There we go. We go over to calendar. The calendar that you see here will be the same one that you see on Outlook, since they are two programs that sync together. Here on the top hand corner, we have the options to meet now or schedule a new meeting if you would like to, just like how we were able to schedule a meeting within the channel. Here, I'm able to select if I would like this meeting to be pinged to everyone who's available within a channel. Or if I would like to schedule a live event here, I'm also able to do that. But then another thing I also wanted to showcase is you are also able to schedule Teams meetings. And just give me one moment, I'm going to share the Outlook window. Give me one moment. So when I go over to calendar, what I'm able to do here is create a Teams meeting. And let's say, for instance, if we wanted to share any documents, if we wanted to post an agenda or any type of document ahead of time, what we're able to do is grab or copy a link, how we were able to do when we hit the more options on the document that we shared. When you copy this link here, it will create a link to open that file on the chat if you would like to post that here. Another thing you're also able to do is insert it here on the top, attaching a file to this chat or to this meeting, sorry. You can also do that within Outlook. Now, let me just go back to here, back to our web version of Teams. We go over to files. Here is where I'm able to look at any recent files that I've worked on, as well as quickly open any sort of document that is available within all of Teams that I'm a part of, both public and private. That will populate here, and depending if this option will allow me to, because, oh, there we go, perfect. Here I'm able to see all of the files that have been shared, and also where they've been, last time they were modified by, and the location of that document. And then from there, when I hit the ellipsis on the right hand side, I'm able to open within a browser, desktop app, as well as download or get the links of the document. And then I'm also able to add any cloud searches that are supported in my organization. From there, I'm also able to quickly access my OneDrive, where from there, I'm also able to create any file structure within OneDrive on my OneDrive account, as well as sync my desktop and web version of OneDrive, or copy any links of folders or documents that I have selected, and even open any files open them within OneDrive. And then on the right hand side, from there, I'm able to customize how I would want my data to be displayed. And then from there, if we go back to the more apps and options, when we go over to help, this option here allows us to select any topics that we would like to learn about within Teams, as well as any quick videos of those topics. Because if, for instance, if you would like to take any time on your own to learn any of the other features that you would like to know, to get familiar with, by all means, all of these videos will be of great value. By all means, they're really nice videos on any of the topics that you would like to learn about. And then if you would like to give any feedback or even read those articles within the browser, that option will be on the bottom here. Any patch notes that has come out for Teams or any updates will be located in the What's New tab, where any of the version history of Teams will be available here to read. And then from there, it'll list the About section of the Help application. Then we can see here, when we move over to the top right-hand corner, when we go to our icon here, I'm able to select how I want my presence to be shown online. If I want to be listed as busy, do not disturb, as well as reset the status, or even set a status message if I were to be away. I can do that on this section here. Or I can just simply update my status if I would like to. Or if I would like to clear my status after a certain amount of time from there, I'm able to select this drop-down menu. And then if people were to message me, this is what I would also select if I would like that option available or enabled. Let's go back. We're going to go to the settings, where from here is where, again, I'm able to change the theme of my environment, as well as change the app language, or even the keyboard language as well for shortcuts. When we go over to the privacy tab here on the left-hand side, I'm able to manage priority access so that any notifications or any ways of communication that people are trying to get a hold of me while I am on Do Not Disturb will push through. As well as here, like I've said before, when it comes to read receipts, I can have them on or off. However, this option may be available or not, depending on your org. As well as any surveys that I would be able to participate if I would like to opt in or out of that. Moving on to the notifications tab, here I have where I'm able to edit how I would like to receive notifications, because just as I would say, just as a caution, sometimes your inbox will be flooded with Teams emails if you have all of them enabled. If you would like to receive them in certain manners, by all means, the customization aspect of it is available. Here we can also manage notifications as well as follow a person's status and get notified when they appear available or offline. I'm able to manage notifications here also. Then from there, when we go to the top right-hand corner, if we go to About, here we have other options to go over, as well as the option to download the desktop or mobile version if you would like to. And then sign out. And then also a way to download the desktop app will be available on the bottom left-hand corner. Then just to make sure I went over everything, do you have any questions about any of the features that I've gone over?
None that I can really see, John. So I think we're okay.
Sounds good. Let me go back. But if we go over, just to reiterate, we are able to list any more applications if we would like to have them to quickly access. Oh, I can't believe I almost forgot this one. Activity, the activity tab. This is where I like to start my day most of the time, in the activity tab here, because I'm able to see any sort of interaction that has me involved in. From here, I'm able to quickly jump to those interactions or activities. See here, Shane mentioned me in accountants. If I click on it, it will highlight in yellow on the web version to that interaction that I selected. If I would like to maybe select where Shane replied to my message here, it'll do the same as well. If we go back to the left side panel and select feed, I'm also able to look at any of the activity that I've done in these teams. Notice here I can see where I posted in general, where I've scheduled a meeting, and other posts as well. Then if we hit this little funnel, we're also able to filter any of the following activities from myself or feeds as well, because maybe, for instance, if you were away from the office for a couple of days and you haven't checked your notifications, this list can be daunting sometimes, since it will just look like a laundry list of all of what you missed within Teams. I'm able to filter that if I would like to. If I hit that funnel and select the ellipses here, I'm able to filter between unread mentions, replies, reactions, missed calls, voicemails. I'm able to filter seamlessly in that fashion so that if I have any mentions that I need to get to, I can quickly access that as well. But then it's very straightforward for activities, since it's only really two options that that's available on this tab, just so that you can catch up on any collaboration or any interaction from others. But that's going to cover the basic aspect of Teams. The last 10 minutes of this call will be dedicated to any questions that pop up. By all means, I will happily go over any features that I may have missed or would like any more clarity on.
There's a question around, can you add Outlook to the menu bar or pinned in the team?
Let's find out.
I don't think that you can.
Yeah. You would not be able to, since this application is mainly focused around one-on-one engagement as well as quick access to work resources. When it comes to the email aspect of it, Outlook and Teams are very, very separate in that nature.
Correct.
The only thing when it comes to Outlook that you are able to access is just your calendar. So if you have events that you've made in Outlook on your calendar on that application, it will populate here in the calendar menu tab, so that you don't have to work on two schedules. Shared calendars are also something that is not supported. It is only focused around your calendar.
I'm answering a question right now on co-authoring. Do you mind just demonstrating that again?
Yeah. Let's go back to Shane. When I select the chat tab, just give me one moment. When we go back to the document here that I've shared, when I click on the document, it's going to open it in Teams. When I hit the ellipses here, I'm able to open it in the desktop or browser. Let's go ahead and open the document. It's going to open the Word Online version within Teams. And then from there, if Shane is a part of the document, if he's also working on this document, his icon will populate here, as you can see. And then if I hover over his icon, it will let me see where he is on that page, as well as go to where he is. When it comes to version history, when it comes to controlling that feature, that's only available within the desktop version of Team or of Word. So when you open it within the desktop app on the ellipsis, you will be able to manage that version history. But then on this side here as well, I can enable if it's only available for reviewing or editing, as well as pop open the Teams chat on the right-hand side, or even open the comments also. D is the goodest boy. And then I'm also able to delete threads or list the comment thread as result, as well as add new comments on this panel also.
Can you demonstrate how to mute communications from a specific channel?
Sure thing. When we go over to Teams on the left-hand side pane or tab menu, and I hit the ellipsis on that channel that I would like muted, or if I right-click on that channel, I can go over to channel notifications, and then from there, turn off all new posts, as well as turn off any mentions in that channel. Here in the bottom, I'm able to reset the defaults of that if I would like to, and then from there, save that notification setting for that channel. If you would like to, let's go back to the ellipsis on, let's see if we go over, no, it will not let me do that. There we go. Let's go back to that menu, manage channels. From there, if you were in the settings aspect of the Teams itself, from the channels menu, you can even manage the notifications of that channels in this way as well. But before this live event ends in a couple of minutes, I do want to thank you guys again for joining. In the next couple of minutes, if you have any questions, by all means, drop that down and we can review any features also.
Yeah, John, I have a request here to demonstrate again how to add a new person to a chat that you already have that's one-on-one.
Yeah, you got it. When we go over to Teams and we select, oops, we go to channel, sorry. Give me one sec. Go to chat. There we go. And we select the top right little icon here. From there, I can type in anyone that I would like to add. So in this case, if I did want to add to Christy, from there, I'm able to quickly add someone to this chat. Or if I'm in a very important group chat here on the left-hand side, and I add people from here, I can also allow people to view a certain amount of chat history, as well as a certain amount of days of chat history as well, or not even include chat history itself to that person or group of people that you add to the chat.
And it looks like we have one other request. Would you be able to demonstrate how to share your screen from within a call one more time?
Sure thing. When we go over to, in this case, let's just call Shane. I'm going to video call him. Continue without audio or video. This option here that has a rectangle with an arrow going through it will give me the option to share a screen. But as you can probably hear, maybe, he is currently available or unavailable. But if you would like to share any part of your window or desktop itself, you would do that from the following. What's nice about screen sharing on here also is where you're able to also specifically select the window that you would like open. So if you were to Alt Tab out to look at another window, it still only has the window that you selected prior to sharing your screen. So be aware of that. When you do share a screen, it also shows a red border around the screen also, indicating that that's the window that you're sharing. But it looks like we are out of time. I do appreciate you guys for joining this Teams training also. Thank you to Shane also for monitoring the chat, as well as Blair. Thank you guys so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.